Hello everybody, and welcome back to Supreme Commander 2. Got a special replay today that was sent to me on Discord. Say by who, because I don't want to reveal the results. I haven't seen this replay, but I think I know what happens to, at least as far as the ending goes, so we'll see. And yeah, let's introduce our players. Down on the bottom left, we're playing on Open Palms, a classic 1v1 map. We have as the purple UEF, Awasy. And Awasy has not put down the factories yet. However, on the other side, we have Titan as the yellow Siren going first air. Interesting. First air, one land opening on Open Palms, I'm told is actually very good if you can pull it off. So we'll see what happens here. Titan is going to scout this. Looks like Awasy is going to go first research into double land, which is actually... Awasy might be underestimating Titan a little bit here, because I feel like starting with first research is not what you do against an opponent you feel is of equal skill. Titan is definitely not as good as Awasy, but he is good. So we'll see how that works out there. Yep, gonna go into the first land, kind of like I thought. Titan gonna get into those loyalists. He's gonna know that the two land is coming. He's gonna have seen the research factory. It does mean though that his bombers here are gonna be free to harass expansions, and they're gonna probably look maybe to start trying to kill some engineers. 3 or 4 bombers is generally enough to do that. He's gonna go for the AA tower, but it's not gonna get it up in time here. I don't think. Oh, maybe I always forget the regen is pretty good on the engineers. Gonna be close. Oh, and the AA is gonna finish at the cost of that engineer's life. So that is gonna be mildly annoying for Awasy, but not too bad. Gonna reclaim the engineer wreckage and then go build these mass with his commander instead. Meanwhile, the engineer in the backline has prematurely gotten the AA up, knowing that the harassment is coming. He's gonna go ahead and continue getting that backline eco. Titan, meanwhile, is expanding to the first main expansion. He's taken his middle area, getting a group of loyalists up and running. Probably, I had to guess he's probably not going to do a run by with 5 loyalists. He's going to focus on his air micro here to see what he can get done. And UEF rockheads are quite effective against stopping loyalists if they catch them. And he's going to know that the commander is over here. He saw the commander over here. So Titan is aware of roughly where the commander's location is. He knows roughly what shape Awasy's eco is in. Awasy is ever so slightly behind Titan in both energy and mass. Going to get up to... what's that? 5, 6, 7 loyalists, and his commander is going to go take this expansion while his engineers continue to expand in the back line and on the left flank. So with the bombers here, is 7 loyalists enough to get anything done here? I'm not convinced that it is. I think the commander by himself can probably deal fairly well with 7 loyalists. Not the most clean, but he can do it, and he's going to have Rockhead support here before too much longer. Awasy does have 11 research points stocked up as well, so he can go very soon for the, yeah, I was going to say, just about, right as I go to say it, he gets the mass point defense on his mass extractors and research stations. That's just what I was thinking about. This is why he went for that early research station, by the way. I would almost guarantee it was so that he could get a more effective for the mass extractor PD. He's gonna play it slow. Good UEF plays here. Yeah, mass extractor PD is actually not a bad call if you tend to be very defensive against, especially against Siren, because the loyalists are weak. They excel in run bys, and if they're taking massive attrition damage every time they try to do a run by, it's very much less effective. Coupled with that, he will probably soon get the AA upgrade. I imagine. I would have to assume that he's going to get that once he determines there's enough air to warrant it. Right now, there's kind of not, right? There's only 1 air factory. He's got probably, we'll call it maybe 10 fighters out. Can't see because they're bunched up. Maybe not even that. 7, 8, 9. There's 8, there's 9. And 10 what just got shot down over here. So I was dead on the money. He had 10 fighters on the field. We do see enough loyalists pulled now for a run bite, but again, these mass extractor PDs gonna mean he's gonna be dealing with units here. He's not actually looking to push into the base all that much. He wants to deny further expansion, deal some damage to the military buildup, maybe catch the commander out. But this is Awasy. That's not gonna work. He is gonna be forced to pull these loyalists back here. Kind of what I expected. Do see enough bombers up now though to get a pretty effective trade on some of these units. Good enough to slow them down. The commander versus commander action now. The loyalists are going to turn back around with the help of the Titan Cyber and Com. Bombs are going to drop and wear out some of the enemy units here, lowering the amount of support Awasy has for dealing with this. Good splits. Going to dodge the bombs, but it wasn't enough to one-pass the unit anyway. Rockheads with slightly more range than the Loyalists, going to be able to take pretty good trades on damage as they retreat, even with the bombers dropping on them. So pretty net zero gains here, I think, for both commanders. Titan going to queue up a factory, but going to pause it briefly. I wonder what that was for. He must have been waiting on something else to build. Perhaps he was getting energy up or letting the engineers start on a factory back here. He is going to get the factory now. We see Awasy still behind on mass, still behind on energy, but only by 6. On 7 mass per tick, so that is significant enough to matter, but not significant enough to guarantee the win for Titan just yet. We do have anti-air in the mix here, just Arcanists though, no, and the factory AA, no real. Oh, well, I thought factory AA, not even the factory AA. Oh no, it's there. I always forget it's like in a weird spot for the UEF factories. Do see one factory AA. Do not see the mass extractor AA up just yet. Let's zoom out and get a tactical overview here. What's going on the other side of the map? Absolutely nothing. No engagements happening over here. However, critically, Titan is amassing land factories on this side to hold against Awasy's push here. Bombs are going to come in. UEFP shields are coming up. Going to take a couple units there. Going to lose one fighter. Going to lose 2 fighters for 2 tanks. Not worth it. But the important thing is that we already have a factory line establishing on this north side here, and this is going to allow some units to get into the mix on the other side of the map where there's no commanders to support them, and we do not see enough countermeasures over here for that on the other side. We don't have factories over here. He's missing these mass extractors. Awasy is going to be behind pretty long term now with that in mind. This one mass extractor going to put some attrition out on these loyalists, but is not going to kill more than 2, I don't think. Yeah. So we do see now, finally, that there's enough loyalists on the other side of the map to start raiding the economy here for Awasy. Both players scaling into experimentals at pretty much the exact same time. 6,000. Yeah. A little bit quicker here for Titan. He has gone into research stations in the back line of all of this. We've seen allied air, 2 air factories getting pumped out here for Awasy. Titan's still only on 1, so we are going to see Awasy try to take control of the air game here. Going to get kind of a rough trade, though. Ooh. Fighters are going to take a really bad pull there, and Awasy is actually going to come out behind on the air game there. That was his ploy in an attempt to gain control over the air and keep control. He was hoping to probably kill off those fighters and maybe build some bombers of his own, or perhaps just keep Titan from using bombers. We do see Brackmans and Loyalists streaming through the midline here, going to attempt to put some hurt down on the incoming reinforcements and maybe even the production here of Awasy. Unit speed movement upgrade coming out for these tanks and these demolishers. Demolishers does mean that Titan has to be very careful with his units. He's got Brackmans of his own that are much more likely to hit and have an impact thanks to these P-shields. Demolishers, very hard to hit the Demolisher rounds against a player who's good at their micro, but all it takes is for Titan to not be paying attention once or twice, 1 or 2 Demolisher rounds impact the center mass of his forces here, and they're going to be dead or dying. And there's quite a few Demolishers actually out here for Awasy. He is aware of the devastating potential of these Demolishers. He wants to see these Demolisher rounds hit. He wants it quite badly. We see a fortified factory up here. Going to be getting the factory shield on it quite soon, I'm sure. We see an AA, a radar, 2 point defense, planned expansion here, but Titan's not going to allow that. He's already got a land force building up in the north in an attempt to slow that down. Let's slow game speed down just a little bit. I had it at times to get through the early game. These units are going to run into a small group of Rockheads and a little bit of PD support. Not really going to get a whole lot done here. They are going to jump jet away in an attempt to get on top of this. And they are. They're going to get on top of the PD here. But there's, from the mass extractor, the point defense. Ooh, power detonate. Going to take down what? Take down some tanks, it looks like. Got a good number of those Rockheads in that engagement. But it is going to mean that this gets cleaned up here at the loss of a factory and a PD for Awasy. Let's clean it up, though. We have the first Fat Boy and the first Megalith both out. Fat Boy's going to get jump jetted on, though. That's not good. Wanted to keep this alive for sure. Having this off by itself, not under shielding, is a mistake from Awasy. A very rare mistake from Awasy. The Fat Boy should have advantage against the Megalith, but only if he keeps it protected, and he doesn't. He kept that Fat Boy off by itself, presumably to make sure he couldn't also lose a bunch of units. The unit deto, which is exactly what Titan's going to attempt to use there. And holy shit, huge unit detonation coming out of Titan here. Going to cost Awasy an enormous amount of his land forces here. That's not good. Two land experimental gantry, for Titan up. Going to be producing those Cybran Megaliths fast and furious. Four land gantries up for Awasy. Going to be attempting to bring those Fat Boys to bear. With enough Fat Boy concentrated fire, the jump jet doesn't actually matter. They won't be able to get close enough to effectively kill these Fat Boys. We do see raiding forces, though, on the left side, slowly shutting down the expansion for Awasy. Awasy is losing eco that he cannot afford to lose. More jump jets, bombing passes coming out on the second Fat Boy here. And it is going to go down. Going to clean up these raiding forces there, but at great cost to Awasy. Awasy is losing his entire front line now. Titan is running away with this game now. He's got double his eco, or well, not quite double, but 20 more mass per tick than Awasy on the eco here. And I don't think Awasy has a way out now. 2 megaliths, 3 and 4 coming, with a steady stream of Brackmans, adapters, and loyalists supporting, means that Awasy just doesn't have the forces now to deal with this. He doesn't have the ability to get strong enough to deal with this. I don't think the adapters blocking these Fat Boy shots is important. The adapter shield itself is not all that great, but it prevents the Fat Boy rounds from impacting the stuff that matters. And so they are going to be more than doing their job here. We have 2 Fat Boys up now, trying to wear this out, but one Fat Boy's for sure going to die to the Megalith hits here. There it goes. We got another Fat Boy still up and producing in the back lines. Another one about to come out of this factory and going to die immediately. Yep, going to come up and immediately get focused down and killed. That's an unfortunate loss here. You maybe should have considered canceling that. And Awasy is going to control K and give out the GG, assumedly. That is going to be the end of the match there. Titan with a fast win under 20 minutes versus one of the best players in the game right now, Awasy. Very well done. Titan playing absolutely out of his mind here, and I think Awasy made a couple critical mistakes as well. Like, I'm not sure that the early research station was the right move, because it allowed Titan to get ahead immediately in terms of eco. He did not secure... Awasy failing to secure this expansion was a huge thing. Yeah, Titan just giving off an excellent showing here. I would love to see a rematch and see what Awasy does on, say, Venus Forge, because I've seen Awasy do fantastic things on the Venus Forge map. So yeah, well done to both players. GG. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have more replays you want to see cast, both FFAs, team matches, and 1v1s, all replay types are welcome. If you have things you want to see me cast, feel free to send them over to me on the Discord. I'm in the Supreme Commander 2 Discord as well as my own. Feel free to send those. I'll give them a look. In the meantime, thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next video. Cheers.